The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. Yeah!
Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Pool Guy Show. Today I'm going to talk about the essential pool equipment if you are a pool service professional. If you're thinking about starting a pool route, I'm going to go over all the products that I think you should have that are essential that I use on my pool route every day. Today's podcast is brought to you by Riptide Pool Vacuum Systems. This is a vacuum system that will pick up large debris on the bottom of the pool quickly. You can find out more about the Riptide Pool Vacuum System at riptidevac.com. And today's podcast is also brought to you by InyoPools.com. Inyo Pools has been helping pool owners find the right pool parts since 2001. With over 50,000 pool parts in stock, order online today and have the parts delivered right to your door. And I also want to take a minute to point out my Patreon page. This is a place where you can join me for further help. If you have a pool service business, if you're starting out or thinking about becoming a pool service professional, you can join me here. I have about 58 members right now. And if you join me at the $10 level, you can text me directly. At the $20 level, you can call me and also text me. And you can get real-time answers for any problems you're having. I'll also help you with marketing, and I'll help you with different questions regarding setting your rates, bidding commercial accounts. I'm here to help you on a one-on-one basis through this site. And as part of joining me on Patreon at the $10 or $20 level, you also get general liability insurance through SPPA for $50 per month. I also send you a copy of my ebook, and I send you an invitation to join the GroupMe app. This is a text thread where I have about 35 pool guys and gals in there right now, and we post questions and different problems to each other all day long in this particular group text. So no one out there is actually doing this kind of service for the industry, and I'm here to help you on a one-to-one basis, and I have years of experience that I can help you with if you run into problems. So thinking about joining me on my Patreon site, the quickest way to find a link to my Patreon page is to go to my website, swimmingpoollearning.com, and just scroll down and click on the Patreon link. So today I'm going to cover some of the essential equipment that I think you're going to need for your pool route. Basically, you just need the basic equipment if you're just starting out, which is a net, a brush, a manual vacuum head, a pool hose, and a pole. I'll go over the test kits a little bit here also. I'm going to do a separate podcast on the test kits later on. But for now, I'm going to focus on just the pool cleaning equipment. So as far as pool nets or leaf rakes, I like the Purity Pool leaf rakes. And the Red Baron is probably the premier leaf rake you can get out there. Picks up very large debris, it's very durable, and it's a strong net. I have never broken one yet on my pool route, either the handle or the net itself or the frame. They also have two new leaf rakes that are really good. One is called the Phantom, and the other one is called the Catch-22. What makes these leaf rakes really good is that the leading edge, the plastic lip around the leaf rake itself, is very easy to pull off and change, and the net is very easy to change. One of the drawbacks of the Red Baron is that it's really hard to change that leading edge on the leaf rake. It's a really stiff piece of plastic. That's one reason why it's so durable, but it makes it hard to change. And so the Phantom and Catch-22 are an upgrade from the Red Baron. They're the same size as the Red Baron. The Catch-22 is a little bit larger. And these leaf rakes are very easy to work with and change the parts, so you won't have any problem changing out the parts on those particular leaf rakes. So my go-to leaf rakes for skimming a pool are the Purity Pool leaf rakes. They have a wide variety of different leaf rakes. You can look at the ones they have online, pick them up at your local pool supply store. I really highly recommend these leaf rakes. They're very durable. They're really great at getting things off the bottom of the pool. Rocks, coins, anything that's on the bottom. These things scoop them up really easily, and they're really large capacity leaf rakes. Next I want to touch on the pool brush that I use on my pool route. And for the last couple of years, maybe over 2 years now, I've been using the SweepEase pool brush. And they make 3 different brushes now. They make a standard poly pool brush, and then they make a poly blend brush. This has some steel inside there also to help brush the pools with a little more vigor to get some algae off. And they make a new one called the Algaezilla, which is a small stainless steel algae brush. And the design of the SweepEase brush will allow you to maximize the force as you're pushing it against the wall. There was a brush, I think it was called the whale wall brush. It had this gigantic plastic flap, and that would help create some force as you push the brush. Well, the SweepEase is a much more compact brush. It has a special design that's patented that when you push it against the wall, it sticks there, and when you push down on it, it produces a lot more force than a regular pool brush. So I've switched over to the SweepEase brush. I used to use the A and B pool brushes for my pool route, but I've just gone over to the SweepEase pool brush, and it's a great brush. I highly recommend it. As far as a manual vacuum head, I really like the Pentair Pro-Vac. They have two sizes. They have the standard size and they have a very large size leaf vac. The Pentair Pro-Vac has bearing wheels. It's very well sealed on the bottom. Also has weights in it so that it stays on the bottom of the pool. And one thing you're not going to have a problem with is the vacuum head getting stuck to the bottom of the pool. So you can use it in a vinyl pool safely, fiberglass pool. I know in a vinyl pool they want you to use a brush vac, but I've used the Pentair Pro-Vac in a vinyl pool successfully because one of the feature of it doesn't get stuck on the bottom, won't pull up on the liner. There's nothing sharp on the vacuum itself that will cut the liner either. So the Pentair Pro-Vac is a great vacuum head. It's very long lasting also. I probably keep mine and replace it every 2 or 3 years, and I don't bother replacing the parts. I just replace the whole vacuum when it wears out. But they're very long lasting. So if you're a homeowner and you get a Pentair Pro-Vac, it's a vacuum head that you're going to have for the life of your pool, more than likely. As far as pool hoses, I don't go for the cheap hoses that will cavitate from the pool section. A lot of the pools on my route have 2 horsepower pumps, and so when I'm vacuuming the pool, if I'm using a cheap pool hose, it'll just cavitate on itself and kind of suck in on itself, and it'll be really ineffective. So I use the Smooth-Bor pool hose, and you can look it up online as Smooth and then dash and BOR. And this is the premier pool hose that pool professionals use. It's really great, it doesn't cavitate, and it's an extremely long-lasting pool hose. I probably replace them once every 4 or 5 years. That's how long they last, and they're just a great quality pool hose. You're not going to have any problem with the Smooth-Bor. They make various sizes. I use a 50-foot hose, and that's sufficient for most of the pools on my route. Once in a while I'll need to use a vac attachment to attach 2 hoses together, but rarely will that happen out here. So the Smooth-Bor is the premier pool hose I recommend. As far as poles go, I use the Skimlite, I use the Dually, I use the Tri-Pole 9000 series, and the one I'm currently using is the 6 feet by 18 feet. So this pole breaks out into 3 parts, and you can go from 6 feet to 18 feet. They do make an 8-foot to 24-foot tri-pole, but it's pretty heavy. And the 6 by 18 is pretty heavy itself also. So if you're going to go for the 8 by 24-foot pole, if you need it for a commercial account, just be aware that it's a pretty heavy pole. But these poles are extremely durable. They don't give you any trouble. Once in a while they'll lock up on you. If you over tighten it, you just need a pair of channel locks and you can just untwist it very easily. And there's a cam in there that needs to be replaced every so often. That'll wear out and the poles won't lock together. But all in all, the Dually Tri-Pole, the 9000 series, is my go-to pole. I've been using the Skimlite probably for the last 9 or 10 years. And another pole that a lot of pool guys use and recommend is the Piranha Power Pole. This pole is not a locking type cam pole, but it has like the notches on it that you pull out, and as you're going it just clamps back in, kind of like when you put your leaf rake on the front of the pole. That's how the pole set up, the whole pole set up with those kind of stops and goes, and so you can just set it and lock it in at one spot without having to twist the pole. Another benefit of this pole also is that the water does not fill up the pole and weigh it down. The Skimlite water will go into the pole. With the power pole, it stays light as you're using it in the pool because the water does not go into the hollow part of the pole. So that's another option for a pool pole. You can look at both of those and see which one you like best. To get everything to the backyard, I really like the original caddy box by TK Products. This is a blue tote. It's got a white handle. You probably see a lot of pool guys have this. The best one, again, is the original caddy box, and it's by TK Products. And TK Products also makes a wide range of products also, including some leaf rakes. But I really like the pool caddy. You can put a liquid chlorine, you could put acid in there, you could put your test kits, other kind of things in there. There's plenty of room in there. And you can also put your pole on it and carry it back there with the pole on the caddy itself. This is a great way to get your equipment into the backyard. I'm going to touch just briefly on the test kits. I'm going to probably do a separate podcast covering them. But there's 3 test kits that you can use. You can use the Taylor K2006, that's the DPT one. Or you can use the Taylor K2005, The K2005 is similar to a 5-way test kit where it uses reagent to test the chlorine. It goes up to 10 parts per million, and you don't need to worry about the DPT powder with the K2005. The K2006, you're using a powder to test the chlorine, and sometimes that can be a hassle out there if it gets wet or if you're kind of in a rush. That's a harder test to kind of do quickly. So the K2005 is also a good alternative to the K2006 if you don't like using the DPT powder. It just won't test to higher parts per million. I believe the DPT goes up to 30 parts per million. So those are two great test kits for you. I also like the ColorQ Pro7. This is a very accurate test kit. It uses a photometer to read the readings for you, so there's no need to kind of look at the colors to see what the readings are. It'll give you a digital readout of the free chlorine, combined chlorine, pH, alkalinity, and it does many more test factors. What I like about the ColorQ Pro7, it takes the guesswork out of it. You just put the sample in the ColorQ, hit the button, and it'll give you the digital readout of what the levels are in the pool. The only drawback with the ColorQ, well, there's a couple drawbacks. One, the reagents are more expensive than the Taylor reagents. And number two, the ColorQ Pro7 takes a little bit longer to do the test because you're actually measuring the samples and inserting them into the tester and withdrawing them. And so it does take more time to do the ColorQ test. But it's a great way to do the test if you have trouble reading, distinguishing the colors on the Taylor kit. You can also carry a basic 5-way test kit. This one here has what's called OTO, and it's a chemical that will check the chlorine for you and it'll change color. And just one warning, the OTO is a carcinogen, so I always wear gloves when I handle it. Also has the phenol red for the pH, and you also have an alkalinity test and a calcium hardness test. The 5-way test kit is a good basic test kit also to carry. A lot of guys will use test strips out there. I like the test strips to kind of double check a reading. They're usually pretty accurate. The AquaCheck are really good, and Lamont also makes a really good test strip. But again, I'll go over the pool test kits in a different podcast. So I want to touch on the pool service carts. You probably have seen pool guys driving around with these carts on the back. They're on a dolly, and they have wheels on them, and they have their pool vacuum on there. This is a great way to save your physical body as you're working out there, and to conserve your energy. To take this back to your customer's house, it just unhooks from the truck, and you just wheel it back there. It has your pool hose on there. You put all the chemicals you're going to take back there, your pool brush, and it's a very easy way to manage. I like the T-Doula service cart. That's T.Doula, and they make a great service cart. I use that one on my pool route. It's a small company here in California, and they hand make all the service carts. Another great company that makes service carts is Advantage Manufacturing, and they also hand make their service carts and weld them here in California. So these two are the premier service carts I would recommend, the T-Doula or the Advantage service cart. And this will save you a lot of time and energy, again, as you're taking your stuff back to a service account. And they're really affordable. They're not going to break your budget getting one of these, and they'll pay for themselves the time you save going back and forth to your truck to get stuff and save wear and tear on your body. So definitely a great investment. I would highly recommend that you have a service cart in the back of your truck. I think every pool guy should have one on their truck, and I see the majority of guys driving around without them. I would just recommend you do it and just invest in that cart. Another essential thing, I think, in some areas like Florida and California, Texas, areas where you're going to get a lot of large leaf debris in the pool, is a pool vacuum system. So a pool vacuum system is a self-contained vacuum system that uses a deep cycle marine battery to power it, and it uses a propeller on top, and all the debris and small particles and dirt and sand get pulled into this debris bag on top. And it's a great way to service the pool quickly, to vacuum out the large debris. Picks up particles down to about 75 microns or 60 microns. And so the two vacuum systems that I recommend are the Power Vac. I've been using the Power Vac on my pool route now for well over 2 years. And then there's a brand new one that came out in March called the Riptide. They're one of the sponsors of this podcast. And the Riptide is a lot like the Hammerhead vacuum in the shape and configuration, but it's a much better product. The vacuum head itself is made out of the same material that they make canoes out of, so it's really long lasting, and it's closer to the ground, so it has more power. And I think the service cart is a much better service cart than the Hammerhead cart. The Power Vac, of course, is premier vacuum system. It's the first one that was on the market, and then Hammerhead came out about 6 months later. But the Power Vac is a lot more maneuverable than the other vacuums. It also has a good track record of reliability, and I think the Power Vac service cart is definitely the premier service cart. It's very well made. It's very light and it's well constructed. And both of the service carts can hold up to 100 Ah battery, which will give you about 8 hours of vacuuming time, which is plenty to get through a few days of your pool route without having to charge the battery, especially if you have a really windy week or a week where there's a lot of heavy debris in the pools. It's great to have one of these on your truck to help make your day go faster. Instead of spending 45 minutes at a pool cleaning it out, you're going to be spending 15 or 20 minutes when you have a pool vacuum system. So again, I recommend the Power Vac, PV2100, or the Riptide SL cart. These are two great pool vacuum systems. And if you don't have one of these, you don't realize how much time you save until you invest in one of these and have one of these on your service truck. They also make a handheld version. Both the Power Vac and Riptide have a handheld version where there's a battery case or battery box, and then you have the vacuum head, and you can just carry that back to an account without having the service cart. And those are a little more affordable. Both of those are under $1,000. The service carts are a little more expensive for the Riptide and the Power Vac. You're looking at about $1,500 or $1,600 investment to get the one with the cart versus the handheld version. And I have used both myself, and I would say depending on what you need, either the handheld version or the cart, it's up to you to decide which one you want to invest in. But I definitely would get a pool vacuum system, and both of those are great products. One of the products that I just recently started using is a portable filtration system, and I use the Advantage Manufacturing Porta-Vac. This is a self-contained filtration system. It's on a dolly with a cartridge filter on top. The Porta-Vac has a 150 square foot cartridge filter. It has a 1.5 horsepower waterway wet end pump with an Advantage motor. And what you do is you plug this in, you bring it to the pool side, and then you manually vacuum out the pool with your manual vacuum hose and vacuum head, and everything goes into the filter cartridge on top and then back into the pool. So if you have a pool with a poor system, maybe a system that has no suction, or if the pool's down, you can still vacuum it with the Porta-Vac. And if you live in an area where there's a lot of dirt in the pool, like in a desert area like Arizona, Nevada, or the high desert here in California, and you're getting sand and dirt in the pools constantly, and you don't want to be cleaning the customer's cartridge filter out every month, definitely think about getting a portable vacuum system. You can suck all the dirt and all the debris into the cartridge filter on top. The water goes back in, and it filters down at 20 to 30 microns. This is a standard cartridge filter, and it's a great way to save time and energy also at your stops. And if you also want to get a smaller version of this, the Mini-Vac 2 has a 1 horsepower pump, and it has a 100 square foot cartridge filter on top. You can't attach the Mini-Vac 2 to a hitch on the back of your truck. The Porta-Vac you can attach the back of your truck on a hitch, kind of like the service carts and the vacuum systems. So this is a great way to transport it. But the Mini-Vac 2 will easily lift into the bed of your truck. This is also a great way to do cleanups if you do green pool cleanups, or if you have any pools that need to be cleaned out. This is a great way to do it without using the equipment at the stop itself. And so you can call Advantage Manufacturing. You can have actually one custom made to your specifications. The Mini-Vac 2 that I filmed had a valve that you can turn so you can vacuum to waste, and the water can be put into a drain on a hose. You don't have to put it back into the pool. So if you're vacuuming out a green pool, this is a great way to vacuum out a green pool without the water returning to the pool. So I would highly recommend a portable filtration system by Advantage Manufacturing, and also a pool vacuum system by Power Vac or Riptide. These are great time-saving tools that you can use on your pool route. And yes, they are an investment, but investing in equipment that's going to save you time is actually a really wise investment, because time translates into money. So instead of spending time out there cleaning a pool and spending 45 minutes to an hour on it, you can actually maximize your time out there. You can do more accounts per day, and these systems will pay for themselves over time. And you're going to have a lot more energy, of course, at the end of the day, because you're not out there skimming and manual vacuum out a pool that has a lot of debris in the bottom. And it's a great way to advertise also for your service, that you have these systems that you don't need to rely on the customer's equipment to clean out their pool, and the customers really appreciate that you have these kind of systems on your truck. And I'm going to quickly touch on one more product that I think will really enhance your service. Is a battery powered cleaner by WaterTech. They make a lot of great battery powered cleaners, and if you're looking for just one to use in above ground spas or the spot clean a spa or pool, I would highly recommend the Volt FX8. This is an all-round powerful vacuum. It's great for all those uses. You can use it for a regular sized pool, you can use it for a spa. It's got a very large vacuum head, and this is a self-contained battery powered vacuum. You just attach it to your pool pole, you hit the power button and drop it in there, and it sucks everything up into a debris bag inside this vacuum. It's not made to pick up very large debris, but it's great for sand, it's great for dirt, great for leaves that are on the bottom of a spa or pool. And I highly recommend looking into getting a WaterTech pool blaster, and the Volt FX8 would be my definite go-to vacuum. This one here will last probably 45 minutes to 1 hour on one full charge, and it's a great way to spot vacuum out a pool or spa without having to use all your equipment. And these are highly reliable. I believe the Volt comes with a 2-year manufacturer warranty at this time. And if you use a sand silt bag, you can pick up very fine sand and silt particles with this. So I hope you found this podcast helpful. If you listen to the YouTube version of this podcast, I'll have all the links for all the videos that go along with the equipment that I mentioned here. Also the website links, so you can check out the companies that sells this equipment, and you can search for the best equipment for your pool route. If you're a homeowner, definitely I would recommend professional equipment for your pool. So this applies to you also. Get professional leaf rakes, professional brushes, the best pool hose and manual vacuum you can get. It'll make your job a lot easier when you're cleaning your own pool, and it will eliminate all the frustration you're going to have by using cheap equipment that's going to break on you while you're cleaning your pool. So I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Have a great rest of your week, and God bless.
The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show. The Pool Guy Podcast Show.